I don't know why, but you are watching the Madness Comic Network. Are you mental?
Are we live already?
I guess so.
That was a quick lead in.
Damn.
Wow. Well, I got my coffee.
Yep, and I got berry flavored water. And I ran out of carbonation. I'm thinking of getting a soda stream.
Let's see.
Nope.
Do my window.
Yeah, I want to see what you're doing.
And then let's see. Right now, I am working on a very important page of Brides.
Oh, wow.
So it's do. So here I'm going to start roughing in some stuff. And so the first big thing I want to do here is start roughing in what I know is in panel. I'm actually going to rough in panel 2 first because I know I'm going to do a giant panel break with it.
Yeah.
So let's go here. And I'll keep this in grayscale for now.
Okay.
Before I switch it over to my my beloved blue line.
We got to figure out how to do a crossover of Brides, Bathory, and Whispers from the Void. Because I got a flesh construct, you got a flesh construct. I know there's Prometheus and Chains. That might be fun to do a three gold rock, all three flesh constructs deal with a big problem.
You know I'm more of a stick in the mud than that.
Oh,
now it echoes back.
It happened after a lightning struck.
And I've got, well, now it went away again.
Yeah, so what I'm doing is every time I talk, I turn on the mic and then I put on mute.
I got you. If this ends up getting cut short today, it'll be because of the storms, because we've got like tornado watches and stuff down here right now.
Same here.
Yeah. So that may end up being a thing. We shall see.
Yeah, and I have to leave at 12 or 11:30 for a client thing, unfortunately.
Oogie. Let's do. There's that and that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom, boom, boom.
Dumb hypothetical. Let's say you're at a convention. A young person shows you amazing artwork, and he said, I learned by watching your podcast. How would you feel, and what would you say to that young man or woman?
Thank you. And then I'd probably go on and, talk to them about the actual stuff, because, that's what matters. Let's see here. Let's get rid of a bunch of this panel here. A bunch of these. Ah, shit. Let's see. Huh. Set this to background for the moment. And why is that doing that? It's being terrible. There we go.
It's behaving.
Get rid of some of that. Now then,
that looks pretty cool. That the character's breaking out of the frame.
Yeah, she's on her table right now. So I'm going to have the table actually breaking through the panels and to create the there's that echo again. So this whole page, like, you know, your pages, you normally want the Z composition to lead your eye through for storytelling. So this will, the position of the character in the table will shove your eye down to the third panel, which is kind of an impact shot. So right now I'm just kind of doing a little bit of rough in. Getting these forms and figures worked out. And then and boom. And this is actually something I recommend people study and practice. Is like, you can always like spin your page around and stuff, of course, to draw things so you're drawing at whatever angle you want. But it's actually really handy to get to where you can draw characters upside down. Because when you turn the page to do it, you're altering, you know, you're just altering your perception of the whole scene. And I kind of prefer to keep it this way. And then also it contributes to your speed to be able to keep it locked in. So she's got her eyes closed here. And let's do something there. This will all get refined a little bit later. But here's that. Actually, I'm going to turn on my time lapse for this too, because I really do want to time lapse some of these. Not all of them, because it gets to be a little cumbersome. But a couple here and there. Since Brides, I'm drawing the book. I'm producing the interiors of Brides pretty much all digitally. I thought about doing it traditional, but I was like, man, I just want to get the thing done, and digital is a much better avenue for production. So,
now for speed, why is digital superior than regular pen and ink?
Oh God, there's so many friggin' reasons. First off, I mean, you've got an undo button. And so you can save yourself all kinds of headaches, and you're free to experiment more. And like working digital, especially for me, like digital, I don't have to mess around with rulers and stuff. I don't have to mess around with stuff that really is limited by the current limitations of my left hand. I don't have to, let's see where I want to go. Sorry, where do I want to go with this thumb here? I can hone like composition and stuff even after stuff. Like if you draw things in layers, you've got all kinds of ways to mess with it and really dial in the composition of your page. Let's see, you've got it's another one. When it comes time to ink, further, like silly as it is, with digital, you don't have the mess. I get tired of having to clean ink up because I will spill something somewhere. And God, if you happen to spill it on your page, it's just, that's terrible.
Have you ever done that by accident?
Oh God, yeah. And anybody who says they haven't, I think they're a damn dirty liar.
Or they don't ink.
Or they don't ink. So,
yeah, I've experimented with watercolors. Have you ever thought of doing a page in watercolors and then inking on top of it. I think they did Moonshadow that way.
Well, I work in watercolors quite a bit, just when I'm doing my paintings, because my favorite thing to put through airbrushes is watercolors.
Why is that?
Because it's thin. Because watercolors are thin and they build up color very gradually. So it's actually safer on your airbrush. You don't ruin your guns as quick using watercolors. And then also you've got a great deal of control over the the buildup of color. So it's kind of a win-win.
That's pretty cool. I also love the idea of those airbrushes you talked about as compared to the Pachets, which are great, but it's like, oh, I don't have to clean it. Goodbye, toss. As the other, oh my God, I hope I don't break it while I clean it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, even these cheaper guns, you got the Echo. Even these cheaper guns, I will try and clean them just cause, I mean, I don't want to be wasteful with it, but if they don't clean out very well, then so be it, It's not a big loss.
That's awesome how those things work like that.
Oh Lord. Yeah, sometime I'll do a workshop on hair, because I was just something I was just thinking about was people ask me about hair a lot, and I've got this great like non-answer that I give them sometimes. I'm like, oh, hair is easy. It's just like drawing cloth, and then I go on.
That is a Richard move.
And then because then they're like, what about drawing cloth? I'm like, oh, it's easy. It's just like drawing hair.
Damn, infinite loop. You're just terrible.
Oh man, but no, seriously, the principles of it are the same. And I would tell folks, who are struggling with drawing hair, take time away from trying to hammer on doing hair and work on cloth, because hair behaves a lot like since hair tends to clump together into locks. Those locks can be treated a lot like ribbons. And
like this?
I'm not even looking at whatever, insanely gay thing you just did. So the hair can be treated a lot like ribbons, where it it flows in these bands. So that will free you up, from thinking about, most everybody, their big mistake comes in when they start thinking about, they think about the individual hairs. And that's the wrong way to go about it. That's like just about the worst possible way you can go about trying to think about doing hair.
Why is that?
Because the individual hairs are, if you try to draw individual hairs, besides driving yourself absolutely crazy, you're going to end up with a drawing that's nothing but mud and scratches, because it'll lack all sense of form, and form is king. If you don't have good form, you have nothing.
I would have to agree with that. when we first met, you actually complimented, even though my layout and style is goofy, you pointed out that you liked my form and layout, that you thought it was.
Yeah, you had good form and good layout.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are things that there's that echo. You got to hit it. The form and layout are things that anything can be taught, but those are definitely things that if they come naturally to you, then that's a real benefit.
Yeah, the last comment is, you just need to learn how to draw, son. And then you said you were joking, of course, but still, I definitely want to pick up more pointers of your process and improve my art. And that's, I think, everyone who watches this show. Oh, by the way, Levy says, I don't spill ink. I create opportunities to use whiteout.
Whiteout is handy. Whiteout is very handy. Have I established in this book yet this guy's hairstyle? I don't know that I have.
You haven't.
Let's see. Because the only time you see him, he's being drowned. So, yeah, there we go. He's let's see here now.
Can I make slight jokes with the composition? Where his hat is at by her boobies?
Oh, he's literally mounting her.
Ew.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like you're not entirely sure when you read it if it's a rape scene or not. And the first monster that he made, Adam, will bust in and see this and absolutely go ballistic. And this page completes telling the story that is opened up earlier in the book of why Adam kills Dr. Frankenstein, which, I'm giving away spoilers here, so hopefully it doesn't break things for anybody. But he failed at killing the doctor, but he thinks he killed him.
Looks like he's franking his Stein.
Knew there'd be a joke. There had to be a joke.
Well, that reminds me of Andy Warhol's Frankenstein. Did you ever see that?
No, I can't stand Andy Warhol.
Well, there's a scene in the corpse. What he does is he cuts a hole in the side and defiles that hole.
That sounds like some Andy Warhol stuff. I absolutely detest Andy Warhol.
Yeah, it was that and Andy Warhol's Dracula, and they were both so bizarre.
Yeah, I'm just nope.
Andy Borsnall.
I don't do Warhol. I don't do freaking Van Gogh or Picasso or any of those guys. I'm just like, bunch of absolutely overblown. Just I just don't do it.
Let's hear the critique. What is your negative side on it? I'd be curious, and I'm wondering how many others agree.
Well, Picasso was admittedly a hoaxer. He was a fake. Like he had some art. He had art training. He had art background. He could do some things, but like he kind of knew that he had developed basically a way of marketing himself, that he could do whatever he wanted and he could put out whatever crap he wanted, and people would say, "Oh my God, it's a Picasso!" And it was just like, yeah, it's douchey. I mean, now it's not just him. Part of the douchiness of it is that people people fall for that crap. And it's why I'm like the most anti-art community, anti-art academia kind of guy. Most of this stuff is perpetuated by academia, and it's just trash. So like I have like in the pantheon of things I have zero respect for, possibly academia is the lowest.
Impressive.
Like I literally despise it.
And I figured out how to take advantage of it.
Yeah, I'm not going to. It makes me feel dirty. There are very few academic institutions, things related to it that don't make me feel dirty.
Which ones don't? Or and there's sometimes are good exceptions. For example, your art teacher was just amazing and stellar, but she truly taught art more as just techniques, how to see, how to approach it. And from what you said, she seemed very instrumental in some of your success.
Oh yeah. Carol Osborne. She's um, she had a very working class sensibility about the stuff. Like she wasn't trying to be some kind of artiste or some she just wasn't trying to be some hoity-toity bunch of crap. I mean, and that makes a big difference. So she had an attitude that I could respect and understand, and she applied that to me, and that was incredibly helpful. Some of his smock hanging down here. And then a little more of his schmuck hanging down. Use his schmuck to cover his schmeckle. Yeah, I love Carol to death.
Yeah,
she's really cool. I got the echo. I actually like the Paducah School of Art and Design quite a bit, in spite of some of the bureaucratic BS that's happened there, because that happens everywhere. But I know it's not so much that I like the school, it's that there are a couple of folks working there who I know are excellent people and are not just grifting off these kids. And that's at the heart of my issue with most of academia. Most of academia is just a grift, taking advantage, a hustle, taking advantage of kids who've been taught that this is what they have to do. So, yeah, I don't respect it. I think it's a scam. And it's a scam that I'm not interested in being a part of. I mean, probably my grandest ambition for life is to one day start a school of my own.
I think that'd be incredible.
And the whole premise of it would be a kind of place where you're working as you learn. So let's say you're oh, you're doing a class on illustration. Well, that class would be doing illustrations initially for, they would be doing the illustrations to turn into some kind of a product that they as a class would get payment from. And part of your grade is going to be that, a performance based. Like if your ideas are really good and the execution of them are really good, they should work.
That's incredible.
So if you draw something that's really cool, come up with a design that's really cool, you execute all that stuff really well, then, it should be reflected in the kind of sales that it gets. And then everyone would participate and get a piece of what's going on based on their participation and contribution.
That's impressive.
So I think that conceptually you would have, it would cut down on the BS of people not contributing to group projects, and it would actually leverage, if you're familiar with a thing called the Pareto distribution, it would leverage the Pareto distribution as a mechanism for getting students to do well. So, you'd be like, well, Pareto distribution, they call it the 80-20 rule. And if you
yes, I understand that one. But continue for the audience.
Oh yeah, the 80-20 rules basically that in all creative endeavors, meaning anything where something is produced, 80% or 20% of that which is responsible for that production will work again. So 20% of those involved in the production will produce 80% of the outcome. And and of course, people, as soon as they hear that, they're like, well, why don't you just get rid of the other 80%? Well, if you get rid of the other 80%, then you're left with that 20. And then out of that 20, 2 people are going to do all the work for that 20. Guaranteed. Every single time. It literally never fails. And it is a bizarre phenomenon that works out for everything from financial, from like business to, you can check it on the stock market. You can check it against like sports. If you look at like a team, take the total score that team scored over any period of time, and 20% of the people involved are the ones who scored, 80% of that score, at least. Sometimes more. Sometimes it goes as far as like 10% does 90% of the work. But 80-20 is kind of a more 80-20 is a bit more of a hedge bet when looking at it. But it's a thing. It's a very real thing.
Unfortunately, I need to run to deal with my business meeting. But keep it going, Les. And again, I am made intrigued and uncomfortable at the same time with that amazingly placed image. Brian,
all right, man. Well, I will catch up with you later.
Yes, sir. And thank you, Pops.
Here we go. So, got some cloth folds here. Oh, oh, there it goes. First big yawn of the stream. So, if y'all aren't aware, let's see if I can pop over and dig up a link to pop in here. Let's see. There we go. Let me do the link. And let's see. Pop that in here. I don't know if it's going to pin it or what, because I'm kind of a dipshit with this. Levi. Let's see. Oof, oof, oof. All right. Well, I've posted that there. We'll see. Hopefully that works out. And all right, now that I've shared said link, let's come back in here. Oh, this is what it's like most of the time for me working, is I'm sitting here yawning the whole time I work. All right, she's gonna have some shackles on her wrists. Oh, pardon me. Pardon me. Yes. All right. This part of his hand in here. This is actually kind of a fun part because it's very cartoony at this point. I'll end up straightening and refining everything until it gets, as clean as I like. Oh, stupid yawning. Let's see, shackle. Just gonna need a shackle right here. It's gonna be a little obscured by the hair, but that's okay. Let's throw in a perspective ruler on this, and this is going to be a really wacky perspective. There's that. There. There. And then there's a crazy thing I'm going to do here where this table she's on will have chains running up. So I'm going to go ahead and put the perspective in there for that. Ooh, I'm getting so sleepy right now. It's just stupid. I need to zoom way out. And then we're going to zoom back in here and turn those off. Weird doing this without somebody on here talking with me. I need somebody here to keep me awake. Oh. More yawning, of course. Yeah. Go through it. Oof. Right here, I want to have his leg kind of show a little bit. And then we'll come down here and bring that right off the table. Mm-mm-mm. It's making me miss caffeine. This down here. Oh, pardon me. See if I got any comments in here. Anybody making fun of me for yawning so much? Oof, oof, oof. I see we got 22 people watching. That's pretty cool. So thanks for hanging out with me today, folks. And she's going to come on off of here. So let's go. Hips. It's going to run her right off the page, but so be it. Shoot. Lord. Let's put a little hooky my duty right here. It's a technical term. That right here, because the chain's going to hook to it. Then that's going to run up through here and be another big weird panel break. Okay. Let's turn this back on snap to. And I'm just putting a hard line here right now. But then that will, that is the wrong perspective. So let's adjust that. Let's click on these guys right here. And come right to here. Send that one right there. I like where that one's at. Now let's do this. So sleepy. All right. That is good for those pencils for now. I'm pretty happy with that. Probably end up adding more to it down the road because I do that all the time. Now then, oof. I need to lay out this room. It's in panel 3. So before I do that, I know in the foreground I'm going to have the doctor kind of mounted up over the bride. So let's just get him kind of in place here. And y'all going to bear with me for a second. I got to step away and blow my nose, shoot some nasal spray in my sinus, and what's making me so sleepy. Pardon me. It's disgusting. That. And let's hit the old head opener here. Oof. All right. Now then, let's see. We've got old Victor right here. Half tempted to have him breaking panel over this because that's that would be kind of a good way of dragging the composition down into the next panel. I don't know. This is going to be one of those that tears me up trying to decide on it. So let's see. You can hear the storm starting. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, I was just outside dealing with ours.
Yep. That's funny because I'm sitting here watching what I'm doing. Didn't think anybody else was here, and then all of a sudden you spoke, and I about jumped out of my damn skin.
Yeah, I had to go outside and sweep some water away from the side of the house. Because it's raining. It's raining quite well. What is up, Q&A holes? See you over there on Peel, brother. It's almost that time. Are you ready to check out before your storm hits?
I'm thinking that might not be a bad idea.
Let's go ahead and say goodbye. Did you reconnect your Facebook when you came in?
Yes, it did.
Thank you, because there was a blur about that.
Yeah, I did that before we started.
Cool. All right, everybody, you know what's up tonight? Indie Creatives, Silver Line. It's your typical Wednesday in the Mac. Tell them where they can find you, Les.
Oh, well, I can be found on pretty much any social media, though Facebook is the one I tend to answer the most. what I have going on right now. I've actually got 3 different things. It just worked out that way because I've got different people running different things for me. And the way everybody's scheduling worked out, it kind of has 3 different things stacking for me. So we'll see what it turns out. Fortunately, the different things are all different genres, different products. But right now, I've got of course, what y'all are watching me work on right now is brides. And I posted the pre-launch page for that in the comments here. Then there's Dr. Van Meter's Forbidden Cthulhu Tarot that will also be running for too long. And then there's Angel Hunter, my first kind of American manga sort of deal.
Right.
And you can plug any of those into, if we don't have the links handy, you can plug any of those into Kickstarter and they'll come right up. So yeah, that's pretty much what's up with me these days. Just out here busting this stuff out, and trying to stay awake while I do it. So I'm sitting here right now just like falling asleep.
Yeah, well, that never goes good on the streams.
Not really.
All right, I'm gonna talk a little bit about something else here real quick.
Yeah.
My grandson's friend caught up in this storm the other day that rolled through here. And her and her 2 little cousins both were killed when a tree fell on the family car.
Oof.
The older girl right there, Lily, she sat next to my grandson in van. Okay, they were friends, saw each other every day. My grandson, you guys know, the one that always pops up in here, the one that wants to take this over when Grandpa's gone.
Yep.
Show him that this group, that this community is worthy of him taking over. Share this out, man. I'm not asking any of you to throw money at it. If you can, that's great. But please share it out, man. This is the worst. My greatest fear is outliving my son. I cannot imagine what these parents are going through, but they have to rebuild their lives. The father's already was dealing with recovering from a broken back. Okay, so it's like if anybody in the world that I know needs your help right now, it's this family. Okay, I'm gonna drop this link. I would appreciate it if you guys share.
Yeah, please do that, folks.
And you guys know I don't grab on every GoFundMe and everything, but this is my grandson's friend. And 2 days before this happened, he lost his great grandpa. He's had a really bad week. I'm trying to show him that there's good. Don't let him down. That's all. Gonna play a few ads. We're gonna pop out of here. I hope that some of you recognize that not all of our ads are real ads, and some of them are parodies that involve other shows and stuff that we do, right? I had a couple people come at me and go, "What the hell is Neil Meyer Mayo?" Read the fine print when watching this. Thank you. Bye.
and mouse vipers. Giant child-snatching vipers are terrorizing New Orleans, pulling children from their homes in the middle of the night. In their eagerness to take on human trafficking in the city, cat and mouse find themselves in the thick of it. Crime, action, drama, with a smattering of superheroics. Now, like Roland Mann said, our head honcho here at Silverline, go do some backing, and we appreciate your support.
It's Flip City Magazine, The Parodies, Special Edition, with savage send-ups of The Walking Dead, Star Trek Picard, Stranger Things, The Mandalorian, Guardians of the Galaxy, and more from the first 4 years of Flip City. Get Flip City The Parodies free when you subscribe in print at flipcitymag.com. The world's best satire magazine, and never, ever woke.
In the heart of a major city, in a place raised to honor Earth's past protectors, the world will again learn, sometimes, superpowered intrigue doesn't stop at the grave. Galaxy Memorial Park, Volume 1, beginning crowdfunding Memorial Day 2025.